The attack on the London Underground was unprecedented, and no one knew what might happen next. The entire tube network was evacuated and shut down for the rest of the day.
Emergency, do not travel to central London.
London, the whole network's closed, I'm afraid.
Police took control of the stations directly affected by the blasts: Aldgate, Edgware Road, King's Cross St Pancras and Russell Square. They were declared crime scenes, subject to intense forensic examination. Tube bosses faced a massive recovery and repair operation once the police had finished their work. They also had to instill confidence in their own staff. London Underground workers such as Mohammed Jamil at Edgware Road were the first down the tunnels to rescue passengers.
I have never witnessed such a carnage in my life. It was terrible. And I hope to God that it never happen again. I don't want to see it.
After the tragic events on the morning of 7/7, tube bosses were determined that the best response was to work all night and run as many trains as possible the next morning.
Good to use the night, man. You're going to help me open up in the morning then, are you? Smashing. How are you? Okay?
Phil O'Hare is the performance manager of the Central Line. He's got to make sure that every single train is thoroughly checked overnight for anything suspicious. He's then got to persuade some train drivers, who are understandably nervous, to start work as usual the next morning.
Dave, it's Phil. Dave, what are your plans for the rest of the evening? Are you around for a while now? Hang on, Mike. Cassius, I want you to take the two duty managers to Mile End. In that I trust. It's just trying to convince the drivers. Well, no matter what, Dave, I'll get you home if I have to carry you on me back. The key things we need to get done between now and tomorrow: one, we need to get all of these trains back. Then we need to make sure that we've got our supervisors in place. And then we've got to make sure we open a service in the morning.
Londoners pay their respects to those who lost their lives. Many people are still unaccounted for. Friends and families face a painful period of waiting for news about their loved ones.
Yeah, I need you on this first corner here, Matt.
Teams of engineers are beginning the recovery process. The morning rush hour at Bond Street is quieter than usual. Phil O'Hare has been up most of the night.
We pulled it off, you know, we started up with a full service this morning with all our station staff in place, with all our train operators in place. For me, the whole mood yesterday was it was quite solemn, and it was filled with sorrow, and I think it still is. It feels that way here.
London Underground managed to get 85% of the service up and running. Everyone at the Network Control Centre is especially vigilant. Operations Manager Andy Hogg knows there's a new climate of suspicion and fear.
People are nervous. People are nervous. Staff are nervous. Police are nervous. We're all nervous. You know, we see something and we give it, whereas we wouldn't give it a second glance before. You're looking at it now thinking,
Oh, they're very Andy. Right, according to the police, yes, it was a suspicious gentleman with a rucksack who's boarded up at Putney Bridge.
The only thing I've got left now, really, to be honest with you, is trust in those who are closer to the intelligence than I am. And from that trust, I've got to try and build my own confidence and build the confidence back into my staff. And through doing that, you know, when customers see us visible, I hope it will build the confidence back in the customers.
A few days after 7/7, Mohammed Jamil returned to work. Until the forensic work at Edgware Road is completed, the train removed and the damage in the tunnel repaired, he'll have to work at another station. He's feeling isolated and shocked.
It's a terrible mess at the moment. I went down the tunnel halfway through to the train. We got most of the people out of there, safe and sound. But unfortunately, there were some fatalities which we couldn't help, and that's when emergency services took over and the police took over the whole station. We were told to leave the station, and we're not allowed to go back in. What you have seen, it doesn't go away. It's only time which might heal, but not counseling, I doubt it. Again, when the time goes by, the wounds heal, but this will take a long time to heal. I don't know what to say, honestly.
Senior managers at London Underground have the task of assessing the damage caused by the bombs and coordinating repairs. But before the damaged trains can be moved and the tunnels repaired, they have to ensure the sites are structurally safe for forensic experts. Howard Collins has been appointed to lead the recovery process. He's analysing exactly what happened at Aldgate.
This is the incident train. There were a number of trapped trains in the area at the time. The Metropolitan train was just coming out of Aldgate at the time. In fact, the blast of the bomb obviously marks a certain point, but the train continues on. So the damaged train was something like 80 or 90 metres from the site itself. So in effect, what you've got is sort of two major incidents to manage: where the bomb occurred and then when the train ended up. And that was 204. This is train 204 as it stands, just after the incident. You can see the damage in the middle of the car. This was coming towards Aldgate station from Liverpool Street.
3 train operators were just finishing their break at Aldgate that morning. Paul Hawkins was on the incident platform when the bomb went off.
Large bang, knocked me off my feet. I felt pressure wave come out of the tunnel at me. Birds droppings and paint coming off the roof. And then just silence is sort of the next thing I remember for a few seconds.
In fact, it was eerily quiet down there. I was conscious or aware of the fact that something was at my feet, which I thought was just debris, and went to step over and I looked down and it was a body across my path. So I stepped over that, but as I did so, I looked around and there were other bodies laying over the track, and parts of bodies.
There were 7 or 8 train operators in the area who provided that first level of support. They were immediately on site. You know, these were people who were like captains of their ship, did not want to leave until everyone was safe and off those trains.
These train operators were off work after their ordeal. They're now returning to work and are gradually getting used to being in a cab again with other operators.
The day will come when I'm on my own in the cab and you're concentrating on what you're doing, but obviously your mind does wander, and I'll have to see. You know, I mean, only I'll know if I'm ready and when I'm ready to actually be out there on my own. But I feel, you know, it won't be long.
Within a week, most of the carriages from the incident train between King's Cross and Russell Square have been removed from the tunnel. Ram Patel is the station supervisor at King's Cross.
There's platform number 5, Piccadilly westbound. This third car from the front. There's two cars still in the tunnel. Yeah? And this is the end of the third car. Can you see that all the back there? Quite a few bags and everything lying there. I don't know when they're going to remove that train from here, but it will be there for a while.
One week after the bombings, London paid its respects to those who lost their lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're invited to join in a 2-minute silence across the London Underground network in remembrance of the people who lost their lives as a result of the attack last Thursday.
Major breakthroughs for the recovery team occurred over the next few days. Police completed their forensic work at Aldgate Station and handed control of the site back to London Underground. This meant that engineers could start work on repairs. At Edgware Road, the incident train had been moved from the tunnel to the platform, ready to be craned away for further forensic examination. Howard Collins is on the platform at Edgware Road.
What they did was, obviously the damaged train was down here. It was of 6 carriages, but they only wanted to remove 1 carriage, and it was too damaged to take by rail. I was standing on the roof over there of the station building, and then this crane arrived all the way from Scotland. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life. 17 hours to set it up, and then 9:30, I think it was, 10 o'clock on the Tuesday, we all solemnly watched this thing go up, and it was tested and lifted about a foot from the ground. Officers checked underneath it, make sure it was all wrapped correctly, and then went up, out, it moved a little bit, over that wall, over the hoardings, and down onto a low loader. And it looked so easy, but we know it was difficult, and on the low loader and away, and it was gone by about 1 o'clock once they strapped it all down, and that was gone. And I think it was, again, a sort of quiet moment for all of us, but the next step.
But just 2 days later, London is in a state of shock again. Terrorists have tried to detonate bombs at Warren Street, Oval and Shepherd's Bush. Just 2 weeks after the 7/7 terrorist attacks on the London Underground, the capital is in chaos again.
They have an open hand, but they're letting people walk along, but not letting them walk this way.
Well, an incident's happened here. It's been sealed off. Yeah?
Listen to me. You'll have to fight your way around.
This is obviously Shepherd's Bush Green over here to my left-hand side. That has completely been cordoned off. The area evacuated.
Although this time the terrorists were unsuccessful, security's been stepped up.
OK then, cheers, top. No, go full suspension. The armed response is on the way.
The Network Operations Centre, which monitors incidents on the tube, is busier than ever.
Set 46. OK, so they're evacuating the station as a precaution. Obviously, we need people down there to ascertain the situation.
Well, they're in the process of the evacuation, plus they've got unattended packages because the person's leaving some of their property behind.
Is it never ending? Right. We just put Bond Street up because there's a Central Line train with an unattended bag just left Oxo going towards Bond Street. So it's going to be checked out at Bond Street now. Network Operation Manager. I would say that looks very much like he's just set everybody off.
The London Underground recovery operation, headed by Howard Collins, presses on in a climate of unprecedented tension. Howard is up at dawn to board the very first train back into Aldgate. But for traumatised train operators such as Steve Eldridge, it'll be several weeks before he's ready to make what was once a routine journey.
I've got to go back to Aldgate again. What I can do about this, or what I plan to do, is just go down to Liverpool Street and then walk from Liverpool Street across to Aldgate, so that I'm not actually going in on the train. I am planning to go down onto the track and go back to the area where the incident took place, just to satisfy myself that really that it's all over.
All stations to Aldgate, please stand clear of the doors.
I mean, obviously, the last 2 weeks I've worked on the recovery of all 3 sites. This is a pretty solemn occasion for us, but a great occasion. The tube is returning to normal. So is this your first trip down, or did you do some test running?
Yeah, this is my first time back here.
Yeah, so one of the trains, which was behind the incident train, was one of these. It is very eerie to see 3 trains in the sidings at this time of day. Normally they're out running.
It's strange always seeing them abandoned in there.
Yeah. But we're determined to get them out, you know, today, and hopefully at the end of the week. How many people you got on board, though? customer-wise? Not many.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised there wasn't many people at Watford.
Yeah.
For the first train from Watford, yeah.
Oh, we're coming into Aldgate Station, and this is the first time I've been back on the front of a train. I spent most of my life the last 2 weeks either here or the other two sites. I think I know every inch of the platform. Certainly met a lot of the staff who, you know, I've got 3,500 staff, but I think these are very special people to me now. Sort of 1 down and 2 to go for me. Edgware Road and King's Cross.
Aldgate Station, all change here, please. Can you please ensure when you leave the train you take all your luggage and personal belongings with you? All change here, please, at Aldgate this train.
Just checking for sort of anyone who's left anything behind. These are quite tricky trains because they have seats which go this way, so you've got to just make sure nothing's been left between them. I'm amazed actually how 500 articles have been left behind since the 7th of July, which have caused service disruption. Over about 70 major shutdowns of the service because people forget things. It's going to take some time before we see all our regular customers here, but you know, this is rush hour time and we're starting to see people come through. You know, that perhaps 60–70% of the people who would normally be here on a normal day.
Well, the first time when I came back and I was told that there was someone laid the flowers on platform 2, went down there and read the notes, and you kind of feel it, you know, feel sorry for them. But other than that, I'll just carry on as normal. Can't let them beat me.
I think there's a level of defiance and support from all of us in terms of making sure the tube runs okay today.
At Edgware Road, now the incident train has been removed, engineers have repaired the damaged cables in the tunnel, and trains are being tested. Steve Gosker is the group station manager.
One of the hardest things for me has been yesterday, in fact, when I had to escort one of the families of the bereaved around the station here. We had the wife of a chap who died on the train here, and his 3 sons and his brother. And really it's sort of knowing what to say to them. I took them down to this platform here to show them the spot where the train exploded so they could actually see where their loved one died, which is very, very difficult. They said it was part of the closeout process for them, and that, you know, that they had to do it. They came here and they laid their flowers here, and it was a full week before they'd heard that they'd lost their dad and their husband, so that must have been just unbelievable.
Due to the extensive forensic examination on the track between Russell Square and King's Cross, London Underground have only been able to start their recovery work here over the last few days.
We're on the Piccadilly line platforms in the heart of King's Cross station. This is, you know, yards away from the incident down the tunnel. Up until very recently, we had no idea what the damage was, what work we had to do to get the service back up and running, and normality back to the tube. You've been down on site and had a look round. I mean, what have you seen down there? I mean, obviously now repaired, brackets back up.
The brackets back up. There's still some damaged cables there.
Yeah.
We still need another clean.
Right.
But generally speaking, it's going along well. Yeah. The testing of the cables is absolutely critical because we don't know which cables are damaged and which aren't.
Right.
The visuals you can see,
so
but the internal damage,
we're
powering up now. Right. And hopefully by the morning we will have tested all the cables, and then we'll know exactly where we are.
Absolutely fantastic. I personally rode round on the first train in here from Paddington at 5:45 this morning. Strange feeling, but just glad to be open again and back to some sort of normality.
It feels strange, very strange, because then not many people coming in. It's supposed to be a very busy station, but at the moment there's only Wimbledon train. And a lot of people still don't know it, whether it's open or not. and some people are still frightened. I felt strange coming in here really today.
A few days later, Russell Square opened and the Piccadilly line ran as normal.
I was a bit anxious, but I knew I had to get to Piccadilly Circus, so just have to carry on.
You could be a target anywhere. I mean, I don't think lightning doesn't usually strike twice in the same place, so.
I was a bit nervous, as anyone would be, but it was okay. There wasn't that packed as usual. It's usually really crowded, so I got a seat. I was just glad to get off it, basically.
Customer information, train platform 4 is your Hammersmith and City Line service to Hammersmith.
Mohammed Jamil is back at work on the Edgware Road platform. In his spare time, he tends to the indoor gardens. Remarkably, the plants were cared for while the station was closed.
For the first couple of weeks, we couldn't water it. But last week, some policemen watered it. When I came here, I told them what I wanted to do. He said, leave it to us, we'll do some watering for you. So it was quite nice of them to do it. We wanted to do a water feature, actually, on the wall, next to the wall, and then we want to put a plaque up there in memory of the people who lost their lives. It's a sad thing, but we can't do nothing what has happened. All we can do is pray for them and pray for the people who did it, that God forgive them as well. But they shouldn't have done it. It's not in anybody's favor to do things like that. It shouldn't be in their control. God has given us the life. He's the only one who should take it, not human beings.